Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So I think we have some pretty big problems with the N52 powered BMW 130i. Now I did give the car a scan with ISTA a couple of days ago and I can't really remember exactly what I saw, but I will do another scan with ISTA in this video and we'll kind of try and go into depth a bit more. But the issues that I've been experiencing, the biggest one that I've noticed is the significant drop in fuel economy. So before, on the motorway, on the highway, at around 65-70 miles per hour, I would get like 40 mpg, like no issues at all. And just went, on a little trip at the weekend, about 50 miles or so, and I was only really averaging around 30 mpg, which really isn't that bad, to be honest, like for a 3-litre petrol, but it's nowhere near to what it was. And I thought, oh, maybe it's actually a difference with the fuel. Now in the UK, standard 95 octane fuel is now E10, so it's like, what is that, 10%? I really don't know. Is it 10% ethanol? I believe it is. So I thought, oh, maybe it's the difference between the fuel, because I know the new E10 fuel is less fuel efficient, so to speak. So I thought I'll change it to some 99 octane, which is the E5 fuel. Done that and literally didn't make hardly any difference. So I thought, what, I think we have some issues here. Obviously I have done a lot of work to the engine over the past year or so, really. And I thought, maybe have I done something wrong, like is there something wrong with the spark plugs, the ignition coil, something like that. And then I thought, what, I'm just going to give it a scan, see what shows up and see if we have any issues. And lo and behold, I believe we do have some issues, and they're quite, like I said, quite big problems. So yeah, I'm not going to talk anymore. We'll get outside, get the BMW 130i hooked up to ISTA, and then we'll take a look at what is the case. Okay, so this isn't the issue, by the way, today, but I thought I'd just check the coolant level just to make sure it's still at the maximum. Obviously we have just replaced the thermostat and water pump, so yeah, check the coolant level, it's definitely dropped. So I think we still must have a coolant leak. This is so annoying now. So I guess that's something else that we've got to investigate. So I thought we would start off in trying to tackle the existing coolant leak. As you can see, we do have quite the leak. This isn't just a few drops, this is a significant amount. And I believe that I have found the source. So having a look at the water pump, you can see there is a slight drippage coming off of that, but having a look at these hoses that go onto it, they look completely dry. Yep, no coolant around those. The only hose, or the only pipe that I can see that is wet, is the lower radiator hose, which is this one just here. We have a look where it connects onto the thermostat. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but it is a little wet on there. So could it just be a case of pushing the pipe on a bit more? Which I don't think so, because it is fully seated, it is fully home, so I think we just need a replacement pipe, to be honest. So yeah, looks like the lower radiator hose, it is a lower one, isn't it? Yeah, it is a lower radiator hose. So this one here starts there, goes down there to the thermostat. I think that needs replacing because the O-ring more than likely is perished. Okay, so ignore what I just said about the lower radiator hose. I don't think that is the cause of our leak. I think it's just this hose clamp. It was a little loose, and that kind of seems where the coolant is streaming down from. So I've tightened it back up, and hopefully it's going to hold now. Ideally I could do with moving the hose clamp over just a tiny bit, just so it's kind of more towards the end, but it is very difficult. If this doesn't hold, then I will have to remove this U-bend hose and then get to it properly and move it right towards the end. But yeah, hopefully that holds, and yeah, I am confident that that is the cause of our leak now. Okay, so now that we know what the coolant issue is, let's move on to the real problem at hand. So I've done a scan with ISTA. As you can see, we have 6 faults in the fault memory. Let's see what they are. Like I said, I did do a scan the other day, but I can't quite remember what they were. Rear window wiper blocking, interior lights at front, interior lights at rear. Yeah, I'm not too concerned with those, they are non-existent anyway, but the ones that I am concerned with is the Valvetronic eccentric shaft sensor fault. So we have 2 of those. Now the eccentric shaft sensor lives inside of the engine, right around here, and it is underneath the rocker cover as well, which if you've been following along, you'll know that we have already went ahead and replaced the rocker cover gaskets. So if we have to replace the eccentric shaft sensor, it means doing that entire job all over again. But before we do that, let's do some investigating first. So let's try and have a look into these fault codes and see what ISTA suggests. Okay, so just tried to go into the fault code itself, and ISTA just told me to do a bunch of tests, check connections and things like that, but I think what I'm going to do is try and relearn the Valvetronic motor and see if we have any results from that. So we'll do service functions, powertrain, engine electronics, adjustment functions, learning Valvetronic limit positions, and we'll see if we have any success with this. Hopefully this goes through alright and we don't have some damage like to the timing gear or something like that. But yeah, let's see what happens, I guess. Switch on terminal 15, yeah, it's on. Stops are learned in the next step. Okay, continue. It's definitely doing something. Limit position successfully learnt. Service function finished. Okay, so ISTA really wasn't telling me a whole lot aside from check connections, which, you know, is to be expected, but I think what I'm going to do is check the eccentric shaft sensor itself. Try to make sure to see if there is any oil ingress in here. If there is, then more than likely the eccentric shaft sensor has cracked and it does in fact need replacement. So yeah, I'm going to unplug it now and see what we have underneath. It is a bit wet. Okay then guys, so it's not looking good. We do in fact have oil in the sensor itself, and there is 2 ways that you can get oil in there, either from overfilling and, you know, running down from the oil filler cap and down into there, or it can crack from the inside and allow oil through. Now I know that I haven't spilt oil over here recently, and as you can see this entire area is dry, so it's more than likely cracked from the inside. Now I think what I'm going to do is, just out of curiosity, try and clean it up with some electrical contact cleaner, both the plug and the sensor itself. Hope and pray for the best, and then check back in a couple of days and see if it still has oil ingressed into it. But yeah, this is looking like that the eccentric shaft sensor needs replacing, which means a whole nother rocker cover gasket and yeah, everything else that goes along with it, which is going to be fun. So then, as you can see, the eccentric shaft sensor itself is now completely dry. I've also gave the connector a good soak in, with the electrical contact cleaner as well. And yeah, I guess it's just a case of plugging this back in and, like I said, hoping for the best. Okay, so I did clear the fault codes, fired up the engine again, gave it a good rev so the timing would advance, and then I scanned it again, and as you can see we don't have any fault codes now for the eccentric shaft sensor. So could we have fixed it? Could we have fixed the problem? I really don't know. I can't imagine that just some electrical contact cleaner could have fixed our issue. I guess we need to now drive it for a few days and see if the fault code does return. Okay then guys, so where are we at? So the first issue, the issue that we didn't even know existed before today, the coolant leak, I'm pretty confident that just adjusting the hose clamp and then tightening it up, that has solved it. I'm pretty confident. I did run it a few times, I couldn't see any more coolant leaking down, but I'll probably say that, and tomorrow we will be down on coolant again. It seems to be the case, like whatever I seem to do, I check it, can't see any leaking, and then a few days later we have leaking. So it's got to be something that I need to monitor. But the second issue, the main issue, the eccentric shaft sensor, I don't know, like I did spray it with some electrical contact cleaner, the fault codes never came back for the time being, but I honestly can't see that fixing it, in all honesty. Chances are we are going to have to replace it, which, like I said, means the removal of the rocker cover and replacement of the gaskets, and just hoping that we don't break anything, because the crankcase breather hoses, especially the one on the back, that is an absolute nightmare to remove. To be fair, all of the bikes have been replaced, so hopefully if I do need to remove the rocker cover again, it won't be as bad. But yeah, it can be a bit of a nightmare of a job, but if it needs doing, then it needs doing. Like I said, I will monitor things over the next few days, take it for some good drives, and then see how we get on. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. We really don't know where we're at, but yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for some more content on this car, and yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed it. Please give this video a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!